Hey guys, we're back with Marina from Beautiful Minds. She inspires, educates, and entertains teens, and we're going to be talking about her journey to her business and BU Day. So watch this space.
There's apparently a couple more, which is great. More people listening in every week, so I'm excited about that. I think we had the highest show, which is about 1,000.
That's
so,
amazing.
and I think Bondi Radio is quite new as well, so
very cool,
and we're
guys.
coming
Well
in
done.
as well. So I think that's your mic, so I might get to slide over just
We
a
also
little
put
bit.
it in the YouTube channel in the lead nurturing system, and so all of our audience is from everywhere.
So we're on
Amazing.
YouTube live, so I just let that go. I don't know.
Okay, and Marina, you just squeeze in a little bit.
Do you want me over that way or over this way?
What's that?
Where do you want me?
Maybe squeezing towards me.
All right. Okay, it's
All
on.
squeezed in.
So what's your last name, Marina?
Oh, here we go.
I know it.
No,
Polyaris.
no, it's not.
No, let me
Not
say it.
even
I'll
close.
say it on air. I'll say it on air.
Not even close.
I'll say it on air.
Are you going to go? Or do you want me to do?
No,
do a quick run through?
I'll say it on air. I'll say it on air. I'll say it on
I've
air.
had so many variations. It
Oh,
is-
really?
Oh my
Me
god.
and Angela, I was like, we did
Seriously.
it 5 times. And I'm like, I finally got it in the end.
Have you
Should we
seen
play
it?
the whole song, or do you want to go? Do you want to go into the actual radio show? Do you want to play the rest of the song, which is in 2 minutes, or just
No,
go straight to
let's
it?
just go. We've got so much to talk about.
No way. You ready to go then, girls?
I'm ready, yeah. Just this chair.
I'll let you know. I'll bring it all in anyway.
Yeah, Liam's good at holding down the floor.
Broadcasting from the world-famous Bondi Beach. This is Bondi Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live down on Bondi Radio Show. This is the Weekend Wellness Show with myself, Liam Zollo, and Sheena Alexandra. And we've got a new guest in here, Marina. I don't know your last name. What is your last name? How do we say it?
You were going to give it a go.
I'll
I'll give you $20 if you can get it right.
Well, I didn't even know what it was. Can you
Okay.
spell it? Spell it for me.
Okay,
Spell it for me. Spell it
okay,
for me.
so
P-A-S-S,
P-A-S-S-A-L,
Passal,
close, Passalaris.
Passalaris.
It is like
That's
the
Greek.
easiest Greek surname in the world. Seriously, I could have been like Spanakopula Laka.
Yeah. Passalaris.
I got a simple one. Yeah.
So you're Greek, that's
Well
what it
done.
is.
Half Greek, half South African.
Okay.
That's
How long have you
a
been
random
here in
one.
Australia?
18 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an Aussie twang's coming in as well.
Okay. So I'm so excited to hear your story. We have to start from the very
Thank
beginning because
you.
Liam doesn't know anything about
I don't know anything about you.
about
Oh,
you.
good.
And so I
Okay.
want to learn a little bit more about your background and
Sure.
how did Beautiful Minds come about?
Sure. So I spent, goodness me, about 14 years working in modelling agencies. And I worked in some of the top modelling agencies around the world. So I sort of bounced between Cape Town and London. I worked in Milan for a bit, worked in Germany, and then moved to Australia. And it was great. It was super, glitzy and really cool people. And I got to go to some, superb parties and meet some amazing people. But
What were the parties like?
it's like going on
You
on
said super
tour.
great parties. I want to hear details.
No, I went to parties with like the guys from Oasis and
Oh, no
Kate
way.
Moss
I was
and-
singing this song, A Wonderwall, today.
Seriously?
You're my Wonderwall on the way here. What are those guys
There
like?
you go. Off the charts. Amazing. Fun.
Nice guys?
Yeah, great.
I thought they were quite arrogant. They just come across arrogant people. Are they not?
They had to be nice to me. I was a booker of one of the top modelling agencies.
There you go.
So there you go.
There you go.
They were,
Sorry, I
they were
just
pretty, they were pretty cool.
I just wanted to ask that question. I've never been to one of these parties. You know, I hear a lot about these parties. So anyway, I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah, so it was, very glamorous sort of an industry, but it was also so superficial. And I think, because I was in it from such a young age, I was sort of seen as a bit of a mentor for a lot of the girls. And when you think about a lot of the models, they come to you when they're 13, 14, 15 years of age. And we were dealing with everything from young girls that were cutting to girls that were going on really big photo shoots that were being sexually abused by the photographers.
Oh, so
Really?
you were
Yeah,
with models,
really big stuff,
teen
yeah.
models, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
so we started a lot of the international models start from a really young age, and I did. I just became their mentor, and they came to me with so many of their issues. And for such a long time I thought this industry is cool, but it's superficial.
Yeah.
And we are taking these young people into our care, but we're not caring for them. And we're sending them out into the big bad world. We're putting them on a plane to go and do photo shoots and interact with adults, but we're not equipping them.
Wow.
And so for me, part of the journey was that after so many years of working in this industry and seeing some really horrific things, I landed up working for an agency in Brisbane, and I pitched them the idea for Beautiful Minds. I said, wouldn't it be amazing if we could take all the young people that we're working with and equip them emotionally and mentally so that they're going to be better for our clients, better for their customers, better for themselves as well.
So what are these things that you do that you can help them prepare for the big bad world of modelling?
Well, I think as a person you need to know who you are, and you have to understand how to deal with conflict, how to deal with mental health, how to deal with relationship issues. There's so many threads to being a human being, and I think, when you think about it, this was something that I started 12 years ago. And 12 years ago we were not having the self-harm, mental health conversations that I was wanting to have. So this was really new. There was no one in Australia that was doing it. It was a matter of you go and sign up to be a model at a modelling agency, and that was pretty much it. So it was a whole new concept, and it was a challenge to get people's head wrapped around what I wanted to do. And so when I pitched the idea to the modelling agency, they thought it was stupid.
Wow. Of course, it kind of goes with the whole industry, right? They don't see the heart, the soul that you have to offer these teens. So, go on.
No, absolutely. And I think, I remember sitting down with the agency owner and saying to her, this is such a golden opportunity, because the media are going to love it, the parents are going to love it, they're going to trust sending their kids to us, and there is no one in Australia who has ever done this.
That's right, yeah.
Imagine a modelling agency that has a whole division where young people can be equipped with life skills.
Yes.
12 years ago.
And especially beautiful teens, because in Australia, you might know about this now, we have tall poppy syndrome.
Oh, 100%.
And
now it's been going on for all the time, hasn't it? Really, the tall poppy syndrome.
Well, it starts at that age.
It starts at that age.
Sure, it's huge in the modelling industry as well. It's.
We have it here in Australia. It's so bizarre because obviously I'm South African originally, if no one picked up the weird accent, but I never ever experienced it growing up in South Africa, and I'm wondering if you...
No, I didn't, and I just learned about it about 4 years ago. There was this just random weird trend of how people were treating me, and I thought it was me, and then I realized it's actually a society, and then I've had to learn to adapt, and I see it happening in my daughter who's 8, and I see it happening to one of my really good friends who's 12, and she's a beautiful model, she's gorgeous, but now that I know about it, I know I'm kind of sitting above it, and I know that it's happening, and it's not me, it's...
No, God, it's definitely not you. I think as Aussies, and I class myself as an Aussie, we have a culture where we love the Aussie battler, and we can be the
We love the underdog story.
We love the underdog story, and
But then when we get on top, that's the tall poppy syndrome. We cut them down again. So it's like they want the story. It's like they want the cake and eat it too.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I think we've got to, it's not easy to do the whole Taylor Swift shake it off thing, because we're human beings and things do get to us. But I think we've just got to stop it being a matter of, us versus them. You have to be the best version of yourself at the end of the day. And it is a challenge, because I think we all have experienced tall poppy syndrome to some degree if you are out there trying to make your mark in the world. And that's the thing, if you want to do something sensational and you want to leave a legacy, you're going to experience it. So you just have to get on with it.
And I wish people really felt happy and good, inspiring and lifting people up. You're a beautiful woman. I'm so glad that you're here. I want to amplify your brand. I want to build you up. And I wish a lot of, all the people here felt that same way, because if you succeed, I succeed, we all succeed, we're all happy. And it's a different mentality than bashing down in separation.
But in that case then as well, if people are not going to support you, you've got to be strong enough to let them go. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
And you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. it's only 5 people that you hang out with the most. So you only got to pick the people that are not going to be, have that tall poppy syndrome scenario. That's how I think of it anyway.
Do you want to come and work at Beautiful Minds? Because that's actually a quote that we have in one of our books. So that's good.
Cool.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, but that's how I think of it anyway. So
what kind of problems do you find that I mean, cutting, I didn't realize that was big.
Huge.
Really?
Yeah, it's really big. The 3 main issues that we deal with is anxiety, number 1, and it's on a rapid increase every single year. That's number 1. We deal with friendship issues with young girls. How do they move into groups of friends that they want to be in, or how do they get out of groups of friends that they don't want to be in? They're so fickle at that age as well, so there's
sensitive as well.
Very sensitive. There's lots of conflict with friends, which as an adult we don't seem to think it's a big thing, but when you look at a young person, their peer group is their life, and even if they come from a great family, they love their parents, but their peer group is everything to them right now. They want to be accepted. So friendships is definitely number 2, and then obviously body image. So how do they see themselves? And it's quite sad because we forget that the young boys that we work with, also have a huge issue with body image. It's not just the girls.
Wow.
There's so much marketing towards let's protect our girls against how they see themselves, but we talk to 13, 14-year-old boys that are terrified about the fact that if they don't develop muscles, they're not going to find the right partner.
Wow.
That was me. I was like 12 years old. I was the fat kid. I remember being in.
I was the fat kid as well. So
No, I was, and I was poked by my friends. Mum always tells me this story. I choose to forget it, but it actually defined the person I became, because I was getting poked in the back of my car by 2 of my friends, going fatty, 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 fatty.
But you're not fatty now.
No, I'm a lot better now. I feel a little bit bloated. I had a bit of bread this morning, but that's about it. And,
so unbondi.
Yeah. And ever since that day, I started running 1 kilometre a day after they told me that, and then I grew into the fitness industry from that point. So it was like I wasn't really into fitness until people started poking me, but then you can see it can go the other way though. It can make people worse. If people poke me in that scenario, some other people that I know that would have been in a position where they felt, where they accept the fact that they're like that as well. And that's the hardest thing to try and, one, talk to people about, that they don't, where their current story is, that's not who they have to become in the
Definitely
future.
not.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
That's what I was trying to get at anyway. So anyway, I got off tangent.
There you go, getting off tangent.
We do that all the time
We do it all the
here.
time. So where is it now though? So 12 years ago you were talking about where you entered in the industry when it's not as accepted about what you're doing, and how's it sitting now?
I have a quick question before you answer that.
Sure.
So the modeling agency said no. What was the step after that? Where did you go after that? Or if it's a long story,
no, I'll shorten it. But basically I just bought my first house a couple of months before, so I had a mortgage. I had no intention of leaving, in terms of I didn't think I would quit, but then I had this conversation and I thought, I actually can't stay here because I'm not being true to who I am and what I really want to do. So I quit then and there on the spot. We had the conversation on the Thursday. I left and I literally started Beautiful Minds out of nothing. I had no capital. I had a mortgage. I had no savings. I had all of this stuff going on. And I started working in a yogurt factory. So I got up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I went and piped yogurt from 4 a.m. until 8 in a freezing cold factory on the floor, standing for 4 hours. And then I went home, I showered, and I started in the office, which was a spare bedroom, at 9 a.m. and worked from 9 until 5. Yeah.
That's incredible. Wonderful.
So I did that for 2 years.
Entrepreneur
and it almost
right
killed
there.
Me.
Yes.
Almost killed me.
Yeah.
But I also was very clear on what I wanted, and I had a very much laser focus of what I wanted my life to look like and what I wanted to contribute to the world around me. And 12 years later, it's 66 staff members.
Wow!
Yeah,
wow.
courses nationally. It's pretty big.
Yeah, and you also developed this wonderful app. That I want to use for myself.
You can use it for yourself.
I was like, where have you been my whole life? So it's an e-learn. Sorry, what's the app?
It's an online program basically. So we've got lots of different arms to the business. We go into schools around Australia. We have our own one-day program that we deliver nationally. We have an incredible one-day event, BU Day, that I know that we'll talk about soon, and then we have the online course. So that's international. We've got students that sign up from all over the world, and we're doing some really exciting stuff with that later this year as well.
Yeah.
Doing a lot more free content as well. So we partnered with brands like Cottons and Fujifilm and BT Financial, where we're actually gifting out content on how to be a financially savvy teenager. And with young girls, we're going to be talking a lot more about periods and health and all that sort of stuff, and get content that is credited by experts in the hands of Australians and internationally, into the hands of people for free.
Right.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Oh
Lots on the go.
Oh, and you've hit on a great target market too, because there's a lot of teens in Australia, and I can imagine you inspire, educate, and entertain every single one of them.
Oh, it's good fun. Like, you know what? You've got to get out of bed every morning, like you guys do, and just love what you do. Then it never feels. It's not work. It's a mission. It becomes something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
And people always talk about work-life balance. You don't need to have that if you really love what you do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So on to what about eDiary? Where does that come in? Because
that's another whole chapter of the business. So we're in partnership with a company that does school diaries. So we basically gift our content to 800 schools around Australia. So it goes into the hands of just over 1 million students and 3.5 million parents. And we're just constantly writing articles and doing free videos that then go into their phone.
Yeah.
It's an app. They have access to it 24 hours a day, and it's our way for Beautiful Minds to give back to the community.
Yeah. And I think the reason why you built it was really important, because most successful people have great time management skills. And that's the one thing that I'm so full on with time, and I think you have to be. But it's You want to talk a little bit about that? Like how like teens, do they get that concept of having good time management? Or
look, I don't think they get it. They're a different generation, and they're quite teens, unfortunately, throughout all the generations, are always going to be fairly narcissistic in terms of it's about them at their particular time. So they do what they enjoy for them then and there. But we do try and instill time management. We definitely do try and push getting off social media from time to time, because that's a huge reason why anxiety is on the rise at the moment. Definitely. So I think there's so many young people that are comparing themselves to people in social media, and that definitely escalates our anxiety problems. So
and reality TV, that's another one. Have you heard these TV shows coming out there now? There's one called X on the Beach. So we sit there and watch people fight with their exes on a beach.
Oh my God.
That's a show.
Oh my God.
That's a show. And we wonder why anxiety's on the rise.
And you know what? The ratings for that are huge.
Massive.
It's
people
insane.
like to watch people fight.
People want drama. That's the thing. Anyway.
So, here's the thing. If you think about it, the average adult consumes 6 hours of TV a day. Over your lifetime, that equates to 15 years. Can you imagine what you could do with 15 years of time where what you could study, where you could travel, who you could talk to, all that sort of stuff. The exercise that you could do,
Exactly right.
I don't own a TV. I moved recently, and they don't have a TV link, and I didn't watch a lot of TV before, but now I'm forced not to watch TV, and I have all this extra time on my hands.
It's cool, huh?
So, but I get to do research like for people like you and the BU Day. What's going on with the BU Day?
So one thing that I found, obviously as a business owner, you've always got to kind of evolve and change what you're doing, and a couple of years ago I sat back and I thought, why is our social media not taking off? Why are these young people not sort of shouting from the rooftops that they've done a Beautiful Minds course? Because we know that they love it, because we see the results. And I thought, at the end of the day, there's still the stigma attached to talking about mental health and talking about who you are as a person, personal well-being kind of courses. So I thought, how do I get them to promote that they're coming and they're engaged with our brand? And the only way that I'm going to do it is to take them to the people that they're engaged with, which is influencers, celebrities, YouTubers.
Wow.
And so 4 years ago I started this event called BU Day, and interestingly enough, at the time I was living in Brisbane, and I called a couple of sponsors from Brisbane and I said, I really want to start this day in Sydney. And they said, well, you can't unless you live here. Like, we need to work with you here. So I was like, okay, I don't know anyone in Sydney, but I packed up my life and I moved here. And I
Wow.
literally
You just gave me chills.
arrived in Sydney and had all these meetings with sponsors and pretty clear on what I wanted to do with BU Day, and it has just grown into this incredible one-day event for girls aged 11 to 17 where they come and they hear inspirational speakers, they get to meet celebrities that they're engaged with, they talk about their problems in terms of, you know what, I'm going to put my hand up and say that I've got 2.5 million followers, but I actually suffer from anxiety, and this is how I can help you overcome it. They also hear from experts, and there's dance performances and DJs and gift bags, and it's a really insane day.
So what type of celebrities are coming to this event then?
So over the years we've had, you know, a huge list. This year our biggest highlights is Jai Wakeford, who the girls, you know, go mad for, and he's actually just about to move to LA, so it'll be one of his last concerts in Sydney. We have YouTubers like Fonzie Gomez, Alan Sabulia, Logan's Laundry. We've got Sejana Elise Ope, who's got 1.5 million followers on Instagram alone. We've got Dr. Jodie Loringer from the Anxiety Clinic. We've got, oh my goodness, Tide Levi, who's DJing, who's Troye Sivan's brother. I could go on. There's about 50 different people involved. It's crazy.
Do the parents go as well, or is it a day that the teens just go and get dropped off?
Just for the girls. So it's 11 to 17. The girls get dropped off. They're in our care for the day.
Wow.
And it's phenomenal. You know, they walk out so happy, and we still have messages, you know, once the event is on, we still hear from girls about 8 months afterwards about how it impacted them. Because they don't listen to parents, and they don't listen to school teachers, and this is where we're getting education wrong. We're sending in 50-year-old experts on topics to talk to teens in the schools. They don't care. They're not engaged in that. So send someone that they follow, that they love, to have a conversation with them about real issues, and they will absorb it, and they will take those tools and those tips on board.
Is that a difficult task to approach the celebrities and talk to them about saying, hey, listen, do you want to come up to BU Day and talk about the problems that you're coming and facing right now? Was that a difficult task to talk to that conversation? To talk to someone who
they
has
have to come out.
They have to come out and go, look, yeah, I'm embraced it. I've suffered from depression and anxiety, and to attract those people, you know, is it a quite difficult, challenging thing, or is it people accepting to do that?
I think it's getting easier. I think people are so sick of the inauthenticity of social media that I think to differentiate yourself as a great influencer, you actually need to be authentic. And people all have a story, you know. For me, as a teen girl, I suffered with anxiety, and I had one of the worst cases of teen acne. So, you know, everyone's got a story that they can share.
I remember that one, the acne.
So we were both fat, and we both had acne.
There you go.
Now, okay?
There you go.
So there you go. So
I can imagine these girls make friendships at this day as well.
Amazing friendships.
And do you have a post event where they come together again, or?
We have camps. We have obviously the one-day course. We've got lots of stuff. But where
were you around 20 years ago when I was a teen?
I was struggling with my own issues.
Is there going to be one for boys?
You know, it's interesting. We've done a lot of research with the boys, so we do run boys' courses, and we obviously go into schools, but the boys are not inclined to come together for a day and talk about their problems. They're just not.
We never do.
No,
we don't, and that's the problem. You know, depression and suicide it's predominantly. Is that the right word?
Predominantly
in males.
Yeah, it is.
So that's
it would be really lovely
thing.
if you can encourage that kind of connection with males, like, because I'm sure males will like to talk to you, and you know, I think that you have the power to maybe do something in that space.
We have something really exciting coming up this year where we've got AFL players, we've got guys that were top property investors, we've got all sorts of amazing men talking to us on camera about their concerns, the issues. I would love you to actually come if I can get you to volunteer.
I'll be in for sure. What do you want me to do?
And
I'm
also,
in.
like the Bondi Rescue guys, and Liam's got a huge network of strong men that can inspire.
We just want to video men talking about their challenges, and we want to gift that out to all the millions of teens that we've got on our database. So it's not something that we're making money from. We'll set up the filming days. We've already got it planned for October, but we want to start having conversations, and that's really important.
I think that's the biggest thing as well. It's good that you touched on AFL players, because the young boys look up to sporting heroes, AFL, rugby league, rugby union, you know, these tough man sports, and you don't think of these tough people, you know, going through their own. These big butch boys. Sorry, I didn't mean to elbow you then. Getting aggressive.
Getting aggressive
On a Saturday morning. Start talking. Brings me back to my footy
It's that
days.
bread that you have this morning.
Exactly right. So it's an aggressive thing. But yeah, it's funny that you wouldn't think that these big butch guys who, you know, are so confident, bashing and barging into each other on a day-to-day and a weekend basis, they wouldn't be going through their own problems themselves. So it's good that these people need to reach out, and those conversations are going to be the ones that are really inspiring for young males. I think the sporting heroes. Personally, I think if I saw as a teenager, because went through depression and anxiety things. I think I was just a kid, to be honest. You know, and it's good to know from that side of things that you can talk to people who have been there themselves, who are, you know, these big macho men, and that's the hardest thing because it's a stigma, isn't it? You know, you think that you're big butch, you have to be, you know, solid, but then you could be a big teddy bear in yourself as well. So I think that's amazing that you're bringing on board the AFL guys.
So are you in? October.
I'm in, yeah.
October
What do you want
we
me to
start
do?
filming. I just want to interview you. I just want to share stories of, you know, from society's point of view, good-looking, successful, balanced individuals now. What did they go through to get there?
Good looking. You want me there? Are you sure?
You've written a book too about this too, right?
What's that, sorry?
You've written a book about this.
I did
as
write a
well.
book. I wrote a book called The Humble Hero.
Did you?
Yeah, I wrote a book about the humble hero. It was the life lessons that I needed to learn, not what I wanted to learn at that particular moment of my life. So, for example, you know, I wanted to get more money, but I needed to learn compassion and giving and going through that moment. So I did these exercises called the Silent Monk. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. So anyway, that's a story for a different day. I could save it for another interview, but it's the life lessons that I needed to learn. It's the people around me that saw something inside me that I didn't see in myself. That, you know, and they were rugby league players, some of them, you know, that are playing professional rugby league, and they used to, you know, have a beer with me after training and just things like that I didn't notice. And these guys actually were the humble heroes. It's funny. It's not me that's the humble hero.
Oh, it's these people that you've met in your life.
Exactly right. See, it's the first line of my book. If I was to call myself a humble hero, I'd be hypocritical to the title in itself. That's the first line of my book. So
that's true, actually.
It's true. So I can't call myself a humble hero. It's the people around me that are the humble heroes. So
anyway, awesome. Yeah. I'll have to look that one up.
Another tangent. It's not out yet, but I could give you a copy, definitely.
Okay, great.
So we're gonna have to wrap up, but I want to close with some advice that we can give some parents and some teens.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe top 3 bits of advice that we can give either or, teens or parents.
And can we have separate? I don't know if it's too OCD to go separate for males and females.
They're actually very similar,
Similar?
to be honest.
Okay.
They really, really are. You know, I think all teens need to get off social media from time to time, because that's going to really help them stop comparing themselves to other people. And I think the most important lesson or advice for boys and girls is just to be the best version of yourself. Don't try and be someone else.
Yeah.
The second,
can I just point out also social media, and I hate to bring this back to some of my passions, is that a lot of the stuff that you read on social media is fake and false information, and people, our generation and younger and older, are trusting that this information is true and making decisions every day based on what they watch on social media and on the news, and it's all fake. So
absolutely,
and it's a waste of time. When you realize it's all fake, then it's all a waste of time.
Absolutely, but you know, we do need to get off it once in a while. So whether it's take a Sunday and just switch your phone off, it's a great idea. The next thing when it comes to body image and self-esteem, this is for boys and girls, is, you know, please remember that when you look in the mirror, the image that is coming back at you, that your reflection is your opinion. It's not a fact. And the really cool thing is that opinions can be changed. So that's really powerful.
That's really good.
And then
I've got a saying, but I'm not going to say it on air. Don't worry. It's about opinions. It's an Aussie. Have you heard that saying? No, we're not saying. I'm in the presence of 2 beautiful ladies. I'm not going to say this.
When we go off air, we will get it on him, and we'll let you know on Facebook. And then the last one that I would say is definitely I'm all about brain training. So, you know, definitely be into health and eat correctly. I think that's a big part of what we do. But I also believe, take time where you turn off the Kardashians and the junky TV shows
Ex
that
on
we're
the
watching.
Beach. Can you tell my girlfriend
Ex on
this?
the Beach.
Oh man.
Yeah, shocking. It's so bad.
I can't believe you
But-
watched it.
I know.
I watched it. I get
have-
into it as well.
I watch it for research. We have to watch everything from 13 Reasons Why to that, so that we can keep the conversations going.
good.
It gives me anxiety watching that show. They're just talking about crap.
It's
and they
very
throw
similar
drinks
to
at
the
each other.
Jerry Springer show. You know?
It is.
So Jerry Springer.
Ah,
it's
there
the
you
modern
go. That's a
version.
great. I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that. That's
Yeah.
great.
It's just, okay, moving on.
No, I'm a big advocate for training your brain. It's one of the least used muscles in our body, and we need to get it strong in terms of listening to positive content, reading positive books, surrounding yourself with amazing people, and just pushing yourself forward all the time. We have to do it.
Yeah. Do you touch on meditation or mindfulness?
We do. So we do yoga and meditation, which is a big part of what I believe in, because I actually go to bed every night listening to meditation, because it's brain food and you absorb it as you're falling asleep. So I'm very big on that.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting, very
Marina.
exciting. So when is this, can we just share, when is this BU Day?
So BU Day is happening on the 6th of August at Darling Harbour. We've got about 20 tickets left, so you guys
get
need
on.
to get on your... Yeah, get on
Teens. So anyone
So
from
girls aged 11 to 17.
Oh, so I can't get a ticket.
You cannot get a ticket, though, but you can come backstage to our media room. You guys can come and say hi.
Yeah,
and they can just check us out at beautifulminds.com.au
Awesome.
or at Beautiful Minds on Instagram.
Thank you so much, Marina Passalaris.
It's been really wonderful
Passalaris,
talking to you,
I
and
got it.
I'm looking forward to sharing your good word and spreading the word and hopefully getting you back in, because I feel like we could talk forever.
Seriously, we could get a cocktail and we could sit and watch this view and we could talk about everything all day.
Hey, I'm in for that. Espresso martini.
Awesome.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Awesome.
great.
Thank you so much for your time, Marina Passalaris. We're just going to go for a break now.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a song.
A song
now.
First a jingle, then a song.
First a jingle, then a song, and then we're going to bring in Taylor Walker-Lee.
Wow, I'm so excited.
So very
to meet
excited
her.
about this one. Thank you so much.
Broadcasting from the world famous
Thank you.
Bondi Beach. This is Bondi Radio.
Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Who's Taylor Walker? Why does that sound familiar?
Taylor Walker-Lee.
So we're ending with Marina now, and we're coming back on with Taylor. She is the youngest person who climbed the Wall of China, and she's got an incredible story. She's got cerebral palsy, and she's going to train and hopefully compete in the World Olympics 2020. So watch this space.